Hello, beautiful people. It's Crystal Hill here, the CEO of Hill House Publishing. And I just love having conversations with my authors. And so today I'm bringing on Alfina Lofaro, who is a leadership coach and kinesiologist. And she is also in our upcoming book, Beyond Coincidence. Well, it's upcoming in that we're still open for enrollment. So if you are resonating with her and with what we're sharing about this book, then you can have a conversation with me. But Alfina, I'd love to hear from you first a little bit about who you are and what you're passionate about contributing to this world.
Well, that's such a big question. I love that question. So I am a coach and kinesiologist. I also pride myself on being an educator for 20 years, more than 20 years actually. So what I'm passionate about is what I see a lot in the clinic that I work in and the work that I do as a coach is a lot of the time there's a gap between where people are at and where they want to be. And often, and this was definitely the case for me, there's a discontent or an unhappiness with where we're at and a desire to be where we want to be, but without actually owning, accepting, and being fully where we're at right now with a vision for the future. That's the only way we can move forward. So what I'm really passionate about is helping people or supporting people in their journey with being 100% accepting, joyful about where we're at right now, at the same time as creating that masterful vision of the future. And it can be really tricky. I know it was for me. I know when I heard this concept and went, I have to accept all the rubbish things about me. What are you talking about? Like, I have to be in good relationship with them? No, thank you. I want to be angry. I want to be frustrated because that motivates me to get to where I want to go. And I remember an extraordinary mentor said to me, right, well, what you focus on, you create. So keep creating the rubbish you don't want. That's fine. And I went, what are you talking about? And it wasn't until the penny dropped that if I am where I am, there's a reason I'm there, and I can still have a vision for the future, but where I am I have to be in a good vibration and good relationship with. So that's what I'm passionate about, working with people. I call it living deliberately. So going, okay, I'm here and I did that and that's where I am and I accept that and that's where I want to be too, and taking the steps to get there. Hopefully that.
You described that so well, that difference between, being frustrated with where we're at, but still needing to accept it first in order for us to then create what we desire to create. And you're right. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts and I practice this in my own life as well. Absolute acceptance of where we're at, because when we're accepting, it's only then, like when we're even if the bank account is empty, when we can be grateful for the abundance in our life, the abundance that there is, it's only then that the universe will match that vibration and actually give us what we want, right? And the wanting will keep us in the wanting. So it's like what we desire, what we vibrate. So I loved your description. That was so well said. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it is the key for me is there's that duality of where we're to be, but also the duality of being a human being, having a spiritual experience at the same time, understanding that we are stuff and things, but we're also energy. And so like it is a conundrum sometimes to sit in that duality of being more than one thing at once and going, okay, how do I manage all of these things? And I through the coaching and the work that I do in that, there's definitely something, an understanding of the human being and the kinesiology. What I love about what I do there is that is the energy, the work on the energetic level that shows up on the physical level. And I call it sharpening your magnet or balancing your magnet so that you become the vibration and the frequency of what you want to see in the world, so you can attract what it is that you actually want and have the experiences that you actually want. And this is what I'm called, that's, as I said, being deliberate, being very intentional about the way that we live.
Yes, so you're not just, so you're using mindset and transformational coaching and leadership tools to help somebody identify where they're at and potentially help them with changing their mindset, but then you're using the kinesiology to align them to the frequency that they want and releasing the blockages on the more subconscious level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But a very deliberate.
And so one question that I think a lot of people might be asking is, okay, we have a little bit of a delay, so I apologize if I cut you off. So my question to you was, like, a lot of people might be wondering, like, how do you do kinesiology online? Do you see clients online and across the world, or is it all in person?
So I do both, the coaching and the kinesiology in person and online. So I've been fortunate enough to be trained in PKP, so professional kinesiology practices that have been around for many, many years. And with COVID, this is really interesting. With COVID, people still wanted to see their kinesiologist. So the college that I associated with have actually designed a protocol to do everything that we do online. Now that can be, we have to be very creative about the balances and have to give people anatomy lessons in the moment as well. So we definitely do that online and can get results anywhere in the world at any time to do that. Yeah.
I love it. Wonderful. I'm curious to find out what prompted you to join Beyond Coincidence.
Well, so there's some quite big reasons for this. So in the theme of what I like to work with is that living deliberately. As I've said, I've been in personal development and coaching for over a decade now. And in this time, I've said what many people say is, I should write a book. I should write down some of my ideas. And then the meaning making monsters. Oh, what have you got to say that anyone's going to want to listen to? Oh, everyone said that before. All of these words and stories came up. And then in the last 6 months, I've gone, right, it's time I asked myself the question, what would my life be like if I, at the end of it all, had no regrets? What are the things that I've done? What are the things that I've experienced? How have I contributed to the world? And one of them is, things that keeps coming up is it's time to write something. Now, what to write, when to write, how to write it, it was like, just start writing. And what's the coincidence of Beyond Coincidence is I made a decision, yep, it's time. I actually started writing something, and then Crystal, you reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to be part of this? And I was like, yes, I do, because I've made a decision. I'm living deliberately. I'm going to stop saying I'm going to do things and actually do the stuff that is actually going to have me get clarity about how do I help people? What do I do that matters in my life? So it's partly because this is a big coincidence for me. It's also partly because because of experiences personally and professionally around COVID and that kind of thing, I've decided that it's time for me to put my own brand out there rather than contracting only to others, to put my own brand out there. And I wanted to really write myself into clarity of who I am, what is my brand, what do I want to contribute to the world. So it is, I will say, a work in progress. I love that part of what we're going to do in writing this book is personal growth and development, because I know to put myself out there in the world and accept all of the possibility of people's judgment, my own judgment, those monsters in my head that go, what have you got to say? That I will be facing that, working through that, and actually living what I teach, which is to be deliberate. And I want to write something. I want to see what I do have to contribute. And I will say a little bit of the magic is what I'm, I love the idea that this is beyond coincidence. So I feel like even though I don't know 100% what I'm going to be writing about, that will be perfect, because that's what we're looking at. Exactly that in this book, that what is beyond coincidence, what is beyond what we know, what we deliberately do, what's that magic that happens in life.
Yes, exactly. I love that. What is that magic? And you shared so many feelings and thoughts that a lot of the people I talk to are going through, or maybe they go through them before they even jump on a call with me. It's like, oh, can I really do this? Who am I to write a book? I have no idea what I'm going to write about. And then this, practicing what you preach about, taking deliberate action. And what I loved is that you actually started writing first. So you went into the motion of what you're trying to call in, and it was only once you started that the universe was matching you. It's like, okay, she's really committed. She started to write. Let's give her the tools and the connections that she needs in order to really make that happen. So I loved that you didn't just sit there and manifest and visualize. You actually started. And I think that's a beautiful key. And practice makes perfect. And where attention goes, energy flows. And so this is, my containers, as you were sharing just then, are very much about this personal and professional development, helping the contributors move through all of these mini-me little thoughts that come in, and with my own background as a transformational coach, really guiding that process, and also focusing in on how can we as a collective create more coincidences, more synchronicities in our lives by collectively focusing on that. So we're starting with a workshop on that, to deepen our writing even more, and to really grow and expand through this book process in ways that are beyond what we can comprehend, any of us at this stage, because that's where the co-creation and the magic comes in. So thank you so much, Alfina, for joining me today and for sharing your gifts in the world. So we haven't got your details up, but how can people find you?
So they can find me on Facebook. It is Lofaro, or on Instagram under the same name as well.
Amazing. So do reach out to Alfina if you're resonating with what she's sharing, and if you're curious about the book. The website is right here, hillhousepublishing.com/beyond3. And I would love to have a conversation and see if this is a good fit for you at this time. Thanks again. Thanks everybody for listening, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.